Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason. I'm back again with another video, and this is kind of an interesting one. I decided to go back in time and just take a look at some of the stuff I've been buying each month, and I'm going to call it sort of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, there's nothing too ugly on this one, but every month I buy some stuff, and sometimes you take a chance on some stuff, right? You experiment a little bit, you blind buy. Maybe it's not a full blind buy, like you've checked it out online, but you don't really know until you get it back home. Or even crazier, it's sent to you in the mail, and you really don't know even what it's going to look like in true physical form until you get that copy in whatever condition it is into your house. So, in the month of January, looking back here, it's also kind of cool to see, to do like kind of a check in to see if I'm still playing some of these records that I got just a couple months ago. So, back in January 2026, it's kind of my post Asia trip. We did a huge travel in December, visiting a whole bunch of countries in Southeast Asia and a lot of record buying, including in Japan. So January is kind of like rest, recuperating. There's a few things that came in the mail that were ordered actually in December that just finally arrived in January, whether it's Amazon or Juno or Discog stuff. And then, of course, there's a few records, and I'll get into this a little bit later. A few records where I actually had to order a second copy because, based on my trip to Japan, because a couple of the copies from Japan were not in great shape. So that's something I'll get into maybe in a later video, but suffice to say that there were a few titles that I got while I was in Tokyo at Disc Union that when I got them home and opened them up, some of the covers had rust stains and even some mold. So those ones I had to go and reorder right away, and I was not too happy about all that. All right, so let's get into January 2026. Starting off with the bad. These aren't necessarily bad, they just haven't clicked with me. And, if I had the second chance to buy them again, would I buy them again? Probably not. Starting off with the singles that I got back in January. Now, I don't often buy a lot of 7-inch singles, especially taking the time to order them online. But the main one that I want to get, which is actually not bad, which I will definitely keep in the collection, which is Bibbs 7-inch EP Pop. And this thing has got 5 tracks in total, 3 on side A and 2 on side B. Actually plays at 33 RPM. Now, Bib are a kick ass hardcore band that I actually saw live in Japan, in Tokyo. The gig was total fire. One of the best gigs, one of the best shows of the year by far, even for a small show. Just super crazy, wild energy. But that doesn't always translate onto recorded material, right? So this 7-inch is not going to pop, if you will, as much as the concert did. So I've tried playing it even louder, etc., but it doesn't seem to quite capture the energy and wildness of them live. They're from Portland, I think. Or no, sorry, they're from Omaha, Nebraska. Only thing I have from Bib, so I'd like to still get some more stuff, maybe on cassette or LP. But yeah, that wasn't a huge one for me in the end. Got these 7 inches as well. Nina Cherry, an older one by her. This is some more hardcore. I think this is just stuff that was like added to an order, so I wasn't like too looking forward to it. But this is Deceived, 90s hardcore. And then, of course, this is like some 80s stuff, the Flying Lizards TV. Not bad. I'll probably keep it around. It's kind of cool that it has the instrumental on the other side called Tube, which is actually quite dubby, I find. This came out on Virgin 1980. Of course, they're well known for their Money single, which is a much better one. This is a little bit slower of a groover, but I'm still getting used to it. And one more hardcore band too called Swill. I'm not sure where these guys were from. This was like a US band or European maybe. The label is Austria release. Actually, this one is probably the better of the two hardcore ones there. It's got a kind of a rougher vocal to it. Mid 90s, 1995 release. Next up, I had bought some electronic singles as well, some house and techno and electro. Some of this used, some of this is new. The new stuff, of course, was a little bit overpriced because it was all imported. But one of the used ones that I picked up in January was this one, Mateo and Matos. Yeah, Soul Spirit EP, it's called on West End. This is like 1990s deep house, very well produced. These guys were great producers, and this was one that I didn't have in the collection. It's not bad. I give it maybe a 6 out of 10 on the house scale. This one has not clicked with me at all. This is like a newer thing. Again, kind of on the deep house tip. This is Ben Hickson and Stony Blue, What You Want. Kind of a stamped white label thing, but didn't really click. Some electro that I picked up as well. This is the artist. Well, his real name is Samuel Van Dyke. It goes as VC 118A, and the name of the EP is Avian. It's okay. It's 5 tracks of electro, quite minimalist, well produced. I wanted to pick it up because it's on a Clone Netherlands label that I like, Delson. But it's maybe a little too modern production and definitely a little too samey. It's kind of repetitive in a way. Something cool that I picked up in Montreal back in January for free, basically because I traded in some stuff. But this is Pickup 23 experimental record, loop end on Plankety Plonk. It was all good except for I had to cut some of the top cover. It was a little damaged on the edge, so that's why it looks funny. But it was only worth $4, but I got it free, like I said, in a trade. So that's some cool electronic stuff. I think that artist has quite a few releases under different names. One very cool techno single that I got through Discogs was this one. This is on Trilogy Tapes. Favorite label of mine for experimental techno. Just a wide variety of sounds, electronic-wise. And this single was called Bored Young Adults. I don't know if I wrote down the date for this one because this doesn't have a lot of info on the actual record. 2016. This came out 2016. It's definitely got a really cool groove to it. Kind of a probing, slow, menacing groove to that track. Glad I got that one. This one's I'm a little disappointed in picking up, mostly because of the price. It does have a really killer track on this thing. This is like I think it's a Japanese artist, Shinichi Atobi, and Synth Scale. The title track is the one, but the other tracks are just kind of like regular techno, maybe a bit of electro. Yeah, Shinichi Atobi with Synth Scale, Disappear, and Between Thoughts. Between Thoughts kind of fills up the entire side, which maybe not necessary. But yeah, it's okay. Overpriced. Did pay way too much for it because of the import and all that stuff on it. Yeah, looking at the price on the back here, but maybe it'll become rare and therefore go up in value. It's kind of a weird thing to hope for, but maybe not. This one's really good. Storung, South One on Dub Wax. So Dub Wax, Chai Wax, Raw Wax. It's a bunch of sub-labels. Really solid stuff out of Germany, doing a lot of reissues of like old school 90s house and techno, and then occasionally a newer artist as well. And in this case, this is one of the newer artists. This is Alex Bow, who I'm sure has done other stuff. But yeah, this is some really heavy dub techno, heavy synth line. It's really good. Very, very cool. Now, a little bit of metal, of course. You guys know that I'm always picking up metal each and every month. And one of the few CDs that I picked up in January, Eternal Darkness, a brand new CD. Got this probably through Amazon. Yeah, I think I got this through Amazon. This is self-titled, one and done release. Interesting band. They started up in the 90s in Sweden. So some Swedish death doom. Excellently done. They broke up. They got back together, I guess, and recorded some stuff for this. And then broke up before this album actually came out. So there it is. Yeah, Eternal Darkness. I guess there won't be any other stuff by them, but this is on Pulverized. Excellent CD. Still playing that one. And still playing these two records, too, from January. Now, these were two that were influenced from year-end lists for Best of 2025. Some people in the VC showing these ones off. Sorry for the glare. This is a hard one to say. This is Zacretius, and Le Grand Heresy. Very cool black metal mixed with prog and technical as well, and power metal even. Yeah, it's a variety of styles really. I always feel like there's some post punk vibes to the live open bass work as well, and it is a solo project by this bassist back here. He's also in some other killer metal bands too. Species is another one that I picked up back in January. Changelings, speaking of progressive technical metal, this is definitely in that realm of technical death metal, I guess. Out on 20 buck spin. If I had this back in 2025 for my year end, I would have definitely placed this up in my top 5 records of the year. Just a cool listen. I think it's maybe their second album. I think they've got another one. Yeah, this is their second album. And they're out of Poland as well. Yeah, Poland Species. All right, and then last but not least, some OGs that I picked up back in January. Now, of course, the sad sob story is that some of these I already had picked up while I was in Japan, but because of some material issues, I really just didn't have a chance while I was buying stuff in such a short period of time to open them up properly and really look through the covers and realize that some of them were quite damaged, even to the point of the vinyl in a couple cases. Anyway, despite the disappointment, so I got back, and in January I reordered a couple of things because I really did need these. I've been wanting them for a while, so needed these in the collection. OG copy of Bauhaus 4AD, the early EP, which is excellent. And of course, an OG copy of Public Image Limited's first album, Public Image. Definitely needed that. And I always wanted to get a copy of this as well, the Birthday Parties early EP. I think this has Release the Bats on it as well. So another one that I had picked up in Japan, but the copy was just in bad shape. And in January, I finally got a copy of this. Kind of surprising I never had this in my collection. I do have some singles from it and some later records by them, but I didn't have the Cult's Love album, which is not their debut, I've been told. I can't remember the name of their debut now, but this is definitely a killer record by them. I love it. Even after all these years. So Rain and She Sells Sanctuary, but also the opening cut, Nirvana, is really great too. So got a copy of that through Discogs. Don't see it all that often, but once in a while you do see it. So those are some of the pickups I had back in January 2026. Some good, some bad, some stuff I'm still listening to, some stuff that may be sitting on the shelf for a little while, and maybe some stuff that I'll be moving on as well. So I'll see you guys soon.